The Silent Song of Oak Hollow. The town of Oak Hollow had always been a quiet place, nestled between winding rivers and rolling hills. It was the kind of place where everyone knew everyone, and the only secrets were the ones the trees whispered to the wind. But there was one story that no one ever spoke aloud, one that lingered in the edges of their memories, like an old song that you could never quite remember the lyrics to. It was a story of the mysterious girl who appeared in Oak Hollow every 10 years, and then, just as suddenly, disappeared. Her name was Ilara. The first time she came, it was a decade ago. No one saw her arrive, and no one ever asked. She was just there, standing on the edge of the town's main square, her long dark hair flowing like the river that ran past the old mill. She wore a dress of pale blue, the fabric almost glowing in the moonlight, and she carried a violin case as though it were the most ordinary thing in the world. The moment she stepped into Oak Hollow, the entire town fell silent. It was as if the earth itself held its breath, waiting for something. But whatever that something was, no one knew. Ilara didn't speak much. In fact, she didn't speak at all, unless it was to answer a question in the softest of whispers. But there was something about her presence, something that seemed to pull at the very soul of the place. For weeks, she walked through the streets, her violin case never far from her side. She would sit by the riverbanks or near the old church, her eyes lost in the distance, her fingers idly tracing the edges of the case. And then, one evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, she finally played. The sound of her violin was unlike anything anyone in Oak Hollow had ever heard. It was haunting and beautiful, a melody so pure and ethereal that it seemed to come from the earth itself, from the trees, from the stars.